ideas with you. My background is a professional speaker and an author, and so I bring this nuance of understanding room dynamics. And oftentimes, I would say when I was speaking around the country that I speak for free, but they're paying me to stay in hotels and paying me to set up the technology and make sure that everything works. And as Rotarians, we're all volunteers and we all come together with the desire and the heart to make a difference. And so we've adjusted. Michael Hyatt said, when in crisis, ask the question, what does this make possible? In this past year, through this crisis, made possible us being better together. We were able to connect with people all over the world, learn some technologies, get comfortable with it, and all the way down to, or not down to, but through our children and grandchildren and others, we have all these types of meetings with Zoom. And now people are ready to get back together. And so with this, how can we make this possible versus having to wait for everyone to come back together and or for people to be able to be comfortable still while they're at home. And we're going to do both of those. So I'd like to share this with you here. And let me find my PowerPoint and get this started, and we'll enjoy this together. So if everyone's able to see this going hybrid, and we always want to begin with why. This is right out of Simon Sinek and how great leaders inspire action. They begin with why, then they go to the how, and then we go to the what. Our why is our four-way test. It's a service above self. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Does it build goodwill and better friendships? Is it beneficial to all concerned? So why would we meet in a different way? It's because of our why. Our why always determines the way. The how then becomes, how can we facilitate this? And so to be able to meet virtually is how we did it this last year with Zoom, and to be able to meet in person is how we did it before. And then the what was, when we did it before, we might have a projector and a microphone, and we'd have a screen or a TV. We had a place that we were meeting in, and those were the what's behind our typical meeting. Now, as we come back together, we go with the why of remaining connected, honoring everyone where they are, those that want to remain at home or at the office, more comfortable coming virtually, or those that are ready to meet in person. That's the why. The how is something called hybrid. It's an in-person virtual meeting that's combined and interactive between the both. It's not just one streaming on, say, Facebook Live and watching. We're actually having an interactive meeting. And the what is the technology behind how we then facilitate this. And I hope to go through each of these with you in the few minutes that we have together. It may seem quick, but again, it's being captured, and there's also resources that you're able to watch. There's a 9-minute video on how to do a mid-size and large club meeting that's been viewed over 3,900 times already. And there's churches reaching out and other organizations. So those that are wanting to move forward, those that are being proactive leaders, as Rotarians are finding the way and finding the path, and then growing in the skills to make this happen. So some mindsets that I enjoy embracing is I want to make a difference doing something that makes a difference with people who make a difference at a time that makes a difference. David McNally, that's John Maxwell with Intentional Living. David McNally with Even Eagles Need a Push says the most positive motivational force in the world is a cause. And here's something that I think is becoming more centered as we've discerned this last year because of how our lives have been disrupted, is that the why determines the way, but our why comes out of a personal passion, typically an origin story, something within us. But a cause, this is what Rotary invites to us, all the grant writing, the things that we do, we can embrace somebody else's cause and we can join in with the cause. So to move hybrid is, I want to be able to bring my friends together in both ways, to have people that can meet in person who are ready to meet in person, for those that want to remain at home or at the office, bring them together with no shame, with the ability to honor both groups. That's what we're going to be doing. That's a just cause for us to get behind and get with. And Carol Bauman in my office, in my club, when I was preparing to be president, sat down and we had coffee, and she shared this with me that really resonated as the kind of the central focus of my presidency in 2019-20 and then going beyond, which is, I love being a bridge. We need to keep asking what gives us satisfaction to continue to do more. Service is about, we all live together. So how are we going to live together? So a hybrid, let's go through this. It's the in-person and the virtual. It's a club meetings held both in person and virtually, typically on Zoom, and this is done in real time. The goal is to honor and support members, to attract and involve and engage and retain all the people that we are working with. There was a club that I'm working with. I do this at the zone level now, first at the district, then the zone, and now the region. And there was a club president that came to me and she said, I'm going to lose both those that want to meet in person and those that are meeting virtually. They were both frustrated. And so to go to the hybrid approach was to satisfy those that want to come back. And there were actually some people from other clubs that joined their club because they were meeting in person and the clubs they were part of were only meeting virtually. And so there's the element of being able to attract and really serve both groups to generate an interactive experience. It's not just one watching the other, but interacting. And I'm going to show you some pictures in the PowerPoint that demonstrate this. For members attending virtually on Zoom, I call virtually and on Zoom both back and forth, but they're the same. Typically, it's the platform that we've chosen to use and we're most familiar with certainly on today. And those that are in person, that are in the room. And so in the room, what does it take? There's a laptop, maybe more than one, projector or big screen, the TV to allow in-person attendees to hear those that are virtual, those on Zoom. In the room, the announcements and the speakers at the podium, they're able to be experienced by everyone in the room. They're also able to be seen and heard instantly in real time without the feedback loop, up to maybe 0.2 to 0.4 of a second delay. So literally the sound is linked up with the lips. And so because of the equipment and technology running through one computer, we're able to facilitate this. And I'll be showing you some of the technology here shortly. All agenda items can involve both the virtual and the in-person guests and the members for greater engagement. That's the fun part about this is you may have two committee members and leads, one's on virtual, one's in the room, and they're talking back and forth to give their announcements. You may have the invocation on Zoom and you may have the Pledge of Allegiance probably in the room. You'll have different people leading different parts. You'll be talking back and forth and communicating. And so we'll see, so there's this actual inclusivity that was spoken by so eloquently by Emily earlier this morning. And the why that was spoken, if you recall, in Michael's message when he said, what's that 1 minute elevator speech? And then he was pressed a second time, what is it? What is it? What is Rotary? And he said, Rotary's the best decision I ever made, which led to the other person asking why. It begins with why. And so the why is that we have this engagement. And it requires someone, we call them hybrid support people. We started with tech support and we found some people think, I'm not good with technology, so I'm not going to do it. But hybrid support is there so you can just maybe know how to manage a meeting, know how to pick who should be on the screen at that particular time, and set up, oversee the webcams, the laptop's a webcam if you use one. And I've got a second, if you notice it, you'll see John webcam/iPhone. It's a view of the equipment behind me. So I actually have two cameras going at the same time on two different devices, on two different, into the Zoom at the same time within my own office here. Actually, I'm on the hybrid side. I'm doing a mini hybrid meeting for you while I'm speaking about it. So here's an example. This is Bloomington. Here's a picture of the president, Mark, guiding the meeting, and he's got an announcement coming in from Steve, who's up there on the screen. So everybody is seen in full screen view at this point, Steve, and there's an interaction, and Mark's actually looking at his laptop, and he probably has either the same view or he may have gallery view, which allows him to see everybody in his club, 25 members on a page at the same time. Here we have Terry. He's running the webcam. He's in the room, and he decided that he likes to move around. It's his culture. It's something that he's good at. He really enjoys versus having a stationary camera, which I'll show you later. And certainly that's what I have on my desk, looking at the equipment over my shoulder. And so the picture on the screen that you see over that gentleman's shoulder, that's what you would see at home. And it's similar to the conference you're experiencing with all these wonderful co-hosts that are leading your conference in different places. Whoever is talking, that's the one that lights up at the time in speaker view, or in gallery view, the green box is just strengthened around it. So here's a recent meeting in Bloomington, and here is this example, which I found so beautiful. You follow the rules and the protocols of your state, you follow the rules and protocols of the hotel. These announcements are made, and then we trust in the adults making their decisions as they get seated. Typically, you can remove the mask when you're eating or when you're speaking, and then oftentimes you'll place the mask back on. And in this case, the invocation is being led by the gentleman on the screen. He is the person at home that feels most comfortable being virtually, and he is including everyone in the room, and everyone in the room is honoring him. Here's an example of happy dollars. And so Terry has the iPhone. It's his iPhone. He just logs in, makes sure it's fully charged. And so he's filming this person with the happy dollars. And I'm going to show you right now, this is what it looks like to the people at home through his iPhone. They just need to pin that or spotlight it. And that's what he does. He will spotlight his iPhone when he gets up. And now, no matter who has the microphone, it's always going to be what's on the iPhone for video. That's how you can link the microphone to a video picture that's different than what would be the host computer. Here's everything that Terry has. I've got it behind me. We've got it online and those links that you can follow. He's got 2 laptop computers. He has a mixer. He has the hotel sound system there as far as the microphone, similar to mine, a Shure system right here behind me. The speaker happens to be attending online. This is the beauty of what's happened through this COVID crisis and this pandemic, is that we've been able to now say your speakers don't need to be local. They don't need to drive in. They can come from anywhere. There was actually 2 speakers in 2 different homes participating together in this particular meeting on this particular topic. And Terry is managing it all from one table. And if you look over his shoulder when the speaker is speaking, here is when he chooses to have his lunch. And what you see at home is on the left computer, which is the host computer. And then he has a projector computer, which is the one on the right, which is what he can control to have the view inside the room. Oftentimes what will happen is, of course, people at home will choose speaker view or side by side, in this case, speaker with screen share, as you may be watching me right now. But the people in the room, they don't need to see the speaker. If the speaker is in the room, they can see gallery view. So the projector, they might take on that projector computer, and they actually may put gallery view up there. You'll see an example of it right here. This is Prior Lake, and this is their Fine Master, and they have a delightful banter that goes on with this. So if I may, whoa, okay, I just went backwards. Let me do this. I'm trying to get to here. Let me show you something. Okay, so here's their projector. They've got it turned off. Here's their host computer right here. This is the podium computer. You can see it's just a half second behind or so, because he was looking at the screen when that picture was taken. Now he's looking at the computer right here, which is in gallery view, exactly the same as this. And notice this gentleman has his hand up. And so they keep it in gallery view in the room. And so there's a banter. This gentleman might say something. She may comment on it. She may comment on it and ask a question back. He may say something back. And so it starts to become Hollywood Squares with the banter going back and forth. And this is what makes it fun and interactive. You hear people laughing in the room, and there's a camera on the room typically. And so the people at home may be watching what's happening with that particular screen. So this is not what they see at home. This is what they see in the room. The people at home may be seeing speaker view, and they're watching whoever. They get to select it. Everybody has voice and choice this way. So on Zoom, virtually, let me close this. It requires the host. Typically, it's a paid Zoom account for each club. We have the computer, the laptop, or the phone to participate. Webcam or video phone if you'd like to take it to that step. Laptops in the meeting room allow the virtual attendees to see and hear those at the podium in real time and in person. And I'm going to show you here where there's just 2 computers, and it's going to be a simpler system here in a moment. This creates that dynamic interaction between the in-person and the virtual meeting attendees. So on Zoom, if you're on your phone, you're experiencing this. Everybody's experiencing, because this is a virtual meeting right now taking place, is that if you're on the phone, you would have a view similar to this. If you're on your computer, you'd have a view similar to this. And so what's happening here is this is Hudson Daybreak, Hudson, Wisconsin, and Ruth is their president. David is in charge of the hybrid support. They're interacting before the meetings as they're getting things plugged in and timed. And you can see people across the top here just taking a screenshot of this. Now here's their technology. They have the laptop on the one high top. If you look closely on the second high top, you're going to see a Logitech camera. So that's their webcam, which gives that profile view. And then this one is the host computer where Chris is going to sit and he's going to then run the meeting from there. And he's actually got the webcam going into that particular computer. The camera is turned off at the podium, yet she has so that she can look right at it and nobody's looking at her face. You'll see that in a couple pictures, but she can have it on gallery view or the PowerPoint right there in front. So here's Ruth in the green box, upper left-hand corner. I spread this out so I could watch it. She's leading the four-way test. So she's the one speaking. She's looking into the webcam, and I happen to have it on gallery view at home. So I'm at home watching this, and this is simply a screenshot. Notice the second from the top, it's just rotary. It's Daybreak rotary. That's her camera at the podium. And that one, she has the camera turned off on, but has the PowerPoints there. Here she brings up, and look at her delightful energy. This is the interaction that we often miss when we haven't been meeting in person. She brings up somebody that's going to do 3 questions. And so they're passing it off, and he's going to get started, and he has the first 3 questions for somebody in the room. And then he turns around. You can see him up in the top left. He's looking at the screen, and he's talking to this gentleman at home, taking him through 3 questions. These 2 ladies come up for some other announcements to bring people up to date. And if you look over the shoulder at the screen, notice it's in gallery view. So people are able to see what's happening with their friends. They can watch the reactions. Speaker view, all you see is the person that talks at that moment. They laugh, they even cough, and it takes up the screen, whatever it is. In gallery view, you can see your friends and keep centered on them, and you feel like you're in the room together. It's just a technique to use when you're running the meeting. Here's their presenter this day. She happens to be in the room. So she's got her screen share. This is how I often do screen share. I'll just move the cursor so that I can make the speaker bigger. This is how I like to view it. But she has the PowerPoint in front of her, and yet she's looking right now at the webcam to be able to connect eye contact to eye contact. But when she's taking questions, she's looking at people in gallery view. And there you go. You're able to see how this comes together. So here's some of the technical requirements. Now, again, this is being recorded and all this is on video, and it's also in a buying guide that you'll be able to download. It's in the link and it's all right there for you to see. In a small group meeting, what you have is your computer. Small club would be, say you have 8 or 10 people in the room and you wouldn't need a microphone. And so what's happening now is you want to involve those on Zoom. And so you have a large screen TV or projector. That's the monitor that I have behind my laptop. You're running Zoom on your laptop. The mic in could either be the microphone for the laptop, or you could use an external lapel mic or some other mic. But then you need to have people hear those on Zoom. So you have powered speakers that come out of the headphone jack out. And now you can hear people on Zoom. Everyone in the room doesn't need the speakers because it's a small group. You're just hearing everybody with their voice. And then you have, if you like, there's my iPhone right there, and you could have that turned on all the participants so that people could see everyone in the room. So they'd have 2 options to choose at home. So you have the laptop, you have the tripod, cell phone or a webcam, powered speakers, and a connection to a big screen TV or projector. It's as simple as this. Basically, if you've been doing meetings, we have the laptop, we have the projector, the big screen, because you're showing PowerPoints for your meetings. Now, it's just external speakers, and if the room is a hotel or a country club or wherever you might be meeting, a breakfast place, you might have speakers in the ceiling, or in this case, you just bring powered speakers. So here's for the small club. It's as simple as this, bringing this together and then creating the right settings. And so right here, what's happening is I've decided to go to a little USB adapter and hook up a lapel mic. And again, this is demonstrated in the videos, the 6-minute video, and just set the settings. So you set the settings in Zoom for what it is that you want to have shown. So in this case, You do the drop down to USB to use this particular microphone, or you can use the microphone that's in the laptop. So here's the mid to large club requirements. I'll take a couple minutes on this, and then I hope to demo it with my iPhone here this afternoon for you, because it's exactly what I have set up behind me. This same speaker is over my right shoulder, and all the other equipment that you see there is sitting on the table right behind me, and you could see it through my iPhone as well. So what is it is, it's the same as what we had before, but you're adding a powered speaker or in-room sound. There's the microphone that typically comes with the room, or you would purchase your own. You would have a projector or a large screen. The mixer now becomes the new piece of equipment. This is where the magic happens. This is what connects it all together. USB adapter, cables, and this is the setup to make in-person and virtual meeting synced without a feedback loop, where the sound comes together between both meetings. This little adapter here has both the headphones out on the back on the lower side, and it's got the microphone in on the top. And this is what it looks like right here. It's what I have set up behind me, and I'm going to demonstrate it in a moment. It's just a few pieces of equipment to add to what you typically have right now. So here's Joe Dawes. He's in Prior Lake. It's who I actually learned how to do this from. It took me 3 visits to go there and watch them to internalize it. Another thing you can do is visit clubs around the country and watch to get a pickup on their dynamics. Have 2 or 3 of you on at the same time if you're on a committee together, and then text in a group text what you like or don't like. Did you notice the connection? What could we do? How would it translate for your culture and your club and all of your needs? And so this is how we bring it together. So now what I hope to do is just show you, this is what was in the links at the beginning, the setup tips, and who to call for help. And now I want to come out of screen share, if I can exit. And what I would like to do is demonstrate. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to spotlight for you this. I'm going to change my microphone. Turn on and go to the microphone in the room. Is everybody able to hear me okay? Go ahead and say something. Is everyone able to hear? Come off of mute and say, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. You can hear just fine. Excellent. Thank you very much. And so now I'm doing a hybrid meeting. I'm in person for you today, modeling for you with the microphone, everything that is right here. And so I had this plugged in. What we have here is the mixer. And what's happening is here's the microphone, which is coming from here. It goes in, and I can control the microphone volume for in the room with this particular knob. What's happening now is the headphone out comes through this particular little USB. It's a USB-C jack. See how it says headphones right there? It's still microphone right on top. So the headphones out is when you speak, it runs into this channel number 5, and I can control right here. You can control the volume of the Zoomers here and the volume of the room right here. See how it gets louder? Can you hear it getting louder and back and forth? So that's the volume in the room. So with these 3 dials, let's say you're eating lunch and you have a Zoom host. You just turn the Zoom off. They can talk amongst themselves and it's not coming through the speakers in the room. And then you turn it back up. And now everyone on Zoom is back in the room with everybody in person. Once you touch this, you're really just adjusting this one up and down, but whether people are participating or not. And then what would be on the large screen TV, I turned it off for a moment because of how it was impacting everything. I wonder if I can plug it in and turn it on. I'm going to give it a try. And we will see if I can make this happen. So I use a Yeti microphone for doing the meetings. Here's a Logitech here. I've got a green screen behind me. That's why I've got the, and then I selected something for the screenshot behind me. So if I can, I am going to see if I can move to gallery view. And I am going to go and take off the chat, and I'm going to go to full screen, and hopefully I don't lose you. I'm going to plug this in. Let's see what happens. Everything's pinned. If you were to turn your videos on, I'd see 25 people right there. See what's happening? So what's happening is I'm on the host computer, but because I spotlighted my cell phone, everyone in the room would see what's on the big screen. This is all of you up there. And so what happens is if you were in the room in person having breakfast or lunch, you'd see folks up on the big screen. People at home, you get to pick the view that you enjoy the most. And this way we get to interact and be able to participate together. So let me come off of this, and I am going to unpin me, or hope to unspotlight, remove spotlight, and remove pin. And now it should come back to when you plug in an HDMI cord, everything gets smaller. So now I'm back to the Yeti microphone. Can you hear me okay? And which view do you have right now?
Bigger view.
Are you seeing my webcam or are you seeing my main screen?
Seeing your face.
Perfect. Let's go with that one. So I've been watching time. I think I have 2 to 3 minutes to go. If someone has a question, there was much that was shared. Let's see what we want. We're better together, and how can we make things happen together? Start with why. I went through this quickly. Again, the experiences of where we're going is able to be downloaded and viewed. And candidly, what we're learning and discovering is that the best of both of these meetings, when people are traveling, when people are on the road, when people are vacationing, they're able to now be able to enjoy attending meetings. Guests can continue to enjoy attending from around the world. People that are speakers can attend. I could be a speaker at any one of your clubs without actually leaving my home, yet you could have the interactive in-person meeting together. It's something that we can all look forward together. When in crisis, what does this make possible? Go out and see what wants to happen, and let's do it together. It's a pleasure sharing with you. Let me see if I see anything in the chat that
John, has your district, or do you, as you travel around to different districts, have you seen them doing technology grants for clubs?
I actually have. There's 5960 has a technology grant. I mean, many districts, because they're not sending people to international, there's additional monies that are becoming available because of the way that things and the resources are changing from line items. And so not to put anybody on the spot, but I know in our district to begin with, they just granted everybody a free Zoom account. District 5960, which is the St. Paul district, they have a grant that's several $100s that they can apply for. And so basically at the district level, those decisions are made to help to support the clubs to make these steps. This mixer that's right behind me is $79. The cables are about $30 or $40. If you already have the microphone, then you're really for $200, $300, you're able to be all in with many things. And then if you're buying microphones or you're upgrading to higher quality things, there can be more money involved.
Thank you, John. Your hints and your ideas will certainly help us into the future. And it's nice to know